Hi, I'm Karen Carbone. Welcome to Check It Out, where we'll explore some fascinating subjects all waiting to be discovered in the pages of the books at your Fairfax County Public Library. On today's show, we'll celebrate Black History Month, learn about Malala Yousafzai, the youngest Nobel Peace Prize winner, and take a trip to Scotland. We have an interesting show lined up for you today, so sit back and relax while we introduce you to some great books from your Fairfax County Public Library on Check It Out. African Americans have contributed their talents, time, and courage to America since the beginning. In celebration of Black History Month, check out these books that tell the story of remarkable people beyond the often simpler versions of school history textbooks. During World War II, the American military remained racially segregated and discrimination was common. Despite these circumstances, nearly 1,000 pilots, now known as the Tuskegee Airmen, were able to become the first African-American military aviators in the United States Armed Forces. Told through fascinating interviews with veterans and historical photographs, Black Knights is the story of the men and women who served in the training program at Tuskegee Army Airfield from 1941 to 1946. Their story includes accounts of sadness and success, but most importantly, it shares the efforts of African Americans to serve their country as members of the armed forces. The rebellious life of Mrs. Rosa Parks challenges the simplified narrative that Rosa Parks's refusal to give up a seat on the bus was merely a single act by a tired seamstress. In fact, Parks had worked for years to question segregation in her community. This book gives a thorough historical background on Parks, from her politically active marriage to her active courage that sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, and her later work in the 1970s and 80s.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creeds. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
On August 28, 1963, these words rang out on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and echoed into history. Behind the dream is the thrilling behind-the-scenes account of the weeks leading up to one of the most famous speeches in American history. Told by Clarence B. Jones, Dr. Martin Luther King's personal counselor and advisor, this important story sheds new light on the moment that defined the civil rights movement and paved the way for a new America. To introduce children to the subject of Black history, also check out Henry's Freedom Box, a true story from the Underground Railroad. Henry Brown dreams of a world where his life belongs to him, but when his family is sold, he risks everything for what he knows is right. Readers follow Henry on his journey as he mails himself in a wooden crate to freedom. One of America's most famous award-winning storytellers, Toni Morrison, introduces children to the history surrounding segregation and integration in her book, Remember, The Journey to School Integration. A collection of photographs that depict the events surrounding school integration mingle with Morrison's fictional account of the children who lived through this era of change. Coming up next on Check It Out, the youngest Nobel Peace Prize winner, right after this message from the Fairfax County Public Library.
What are these people doing? Playing video games? Listening to music? Texting a friend? Nope, they're all using the Fairfax County Public Library. At the office, at home, even at the gym.
I'm listening to an ebook I downloaded from the library's website.
I'm getting homework help online.
I'm having a book sent to my neighborhood library so I can pick it up this weekend.
From the library's website, you can bring the library to you. The Fairfax County Public Library. We're everywhere you are.
When the Taliban took control of the Swat Valley in Pakistan, the region's peaceful way of life was destroyed. The Taliban banned music. They said women weren't allowed to go to the market. They said girls couldn't go to school. But Malala Yousafzai stood up for her right to an education and refused to be silenced.
At the age of 15, Malala nearly paid the ultimate price for speaking out. Declared an enemy of the Taliban, she was shot in the head at point-blank range while riding the bus home from school. Few expected her to survive. Instead, Malala's miraculous recovery has taken her on an extraordinary journey from a remote valley in northern Pakistan to the halls of the United Nations in New York. At 17, she has become a global symbol of peaceful protest and the youngest Nobel Peace Prize winner. Malala, with the help of Christina Lamb, tells her remarkable tale of a family uprooted by global terrorism, of her fight for girls' education, and of her brave parents who have a fierce love for their daughter in a society that prizes sons. With exclusive photos and material from a girl not much older than themselves, the young reader's version, also written by Malala, will inspire younger teens and tweens to stand up for what's right, and maybe change the world too. For other books about Nobel Peace Prize winners that have changed the world for the better, check out Mother Teresa, an authorized biography by Catherine Spink. Mother Teresa was honored with the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979 and was known around the world by her saintly compassion for the least fortunate. Notes to the Future, Words of Wisdom is a collection of quotations from the writings, private papers, and speeches of Nelson Mandela. Spanning more than 60 years, it includes excerpts of his Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech as well as personal correspondences. In Escape from the Land of Snows, the young Dalai Lama's harrowing flight to freedom and the making of a spiritual hero, author Stefan Talty retells the events of the 1959 conflict with China that shaped the once reluctant leader of Tibet into today's internationally recognized man of peace. And finally, Seeds of Change, Planting a Path to Peace, transports readers young and old to Africa and the work of Nobel Peace Prize winner Wangari Maathai, the first African woman and first environmentalist to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Maathai was honored in 2004 for founding the Green Belt movement to combat deforestation in her native Kenya by planting trees.
Coming up next on Check It Out, we'll take a journey to Scotland, right after this message from the Fairfax County Public Library.
Feeling bad? Ask a doctor. Need legal advice? Ask an attorney. Looking for a new job? Ask a librarian. The Fairfax County Public Library can help you find a job or change careers. From the library's computers, you can get the career help you need for free. Research local companies. Build your resume. Ace your next interview. You can access the Career Center from anywhere. Land your perfect job with the help of the Fairfax County Public Library.
Now let's explore the beautiful landscapes, friendly villages, old traditions, and delicious cuisine of Scotland.
A trip to Scotland is often said to be like a trip back in time. The New York Times best-selling book Outlander follows the story of Claire Randall, a World War II combat nurse who is mysteriously swept back in time to 1743. In this first book in the series, Claire is thrown into an unknown world. When she is forced to marry Jamie, a chivalrous and romantic young Scottish warrior, a passionate affair ignites that tears Claire's heart between two vastly different men. Fans of Diana Gabaldon's series will also enjoy The Outlandish Companion, which covers detailed information from the author on the first 4 books in the series. Jamie Oliver's Great Britain celebrates 130 of his favorite British recipes, along with the history, food, land, and people of the island. From pub grub and comfort food to new classics, these recipes are anything but ordinary. Scottish favorites such as haggis, smoked fish, and Scotch eggs are reimagined to allow you to create a bit of Scotland in your own home. Fair Isle Knitting is named after the tiny island in the northern part of Scotland. These beautiful, intricate patterns are not as difficult to create as it may seem. The Very Easy Guide to Fair Isle Knitting gives knitters step-by-step techniques and easy patterns
to help you create cozy sweaters and other beautiful gifts. And finally, share some fanciful Scottish fairy tales with your children. An illustrated treasury of Scottish folk and fairy tales shares fantastical stories and tales of dragons, foxes, and kelpies. Coming up next on Check It Out, our Children's Corner, right after this message from the Fairfax County Public Library.
I enjoy coming to the library because I like to do my homework and special school projects, like my Thurgood Marshall presentation for school. I also like to come to the program and events that the library offers, like the summer reading program and when I met the Frisbee guy, also when Joe Romano did his magic show at the library. I also like to check out different books in different genres. I would encourage other kids to come to the library because it's a great learning experience, and it's way better than just sitting at home on your computer and watching TV. You can come with your family and friends and read new books and learn about different things. It's the best place to be.
The Fairfax County Public Library is full of great stories, but the story that matters the most is yours.
Winter days are perfect for curling up with your child and a stack of magical books. Here are some stories you should be sure to check out. Caldecott Award-winning Owl Moon is a classic story with beautiful illustrations and a descriptive narrative that transports you to a quiet winter's night walk to look for owls. We reached the line of pine trees, black and points against the sky, and Pa held up his hand. I stopped right where I was and waited. Again he called out, and then again. After each call, he was silent, and for a moment we both listened, but there was no answer. Will they find an owl on their moonlit walk? For other snowy day books, check out Snow Day for Mouse. Mouse loves snowy days cuddled up in a warm house, but when Mouse is accidentally swept outside, the real adventure begins. Immy is an Inuit girl fishing for her supper on the cold, white winter tundra. Instead, she finds surprisingly colorful things on the other end of her hook. But where did they come from? Find out in Immy's Gift. Splat the Cat wants it to snow, but this snow is way too slow. In Blow, Snow, Blow, beginning readers will practice their reading skills and laugh along with silly Splat as he waits for the snow to grow. Well, that's it for this edition of Check It Out. If you're interested in learning more about Scotland, Nobel Peace Prize winners, or Black history, be sure to visit the Fairfax County Public Library. See you next time.